So since I recently did a video talking about why Bernie Sanders should not run as an independent, breaking away from the Democratic Party, if he did choose to run in the primary and lost and decided to run as an independent candidate, we're going to be talking today about primary challengers for President Trump and as if they ran in the independent party after losing the primary or realizing they couldn't win and beat an incumbent president in the Republican primary. So essentially, we're going to take political figures. In this scenario, we're going to use someone like John Kasich, but I'm just going to use Republicans in general, but it will have an effect on the state of Ohio in general because I did have to choose a particular candidate. I couldn't just say Republicans in general. But overall, there are a number of Republicans, top Republican officials that were either, number one, someone like Mitt Romney, who was a former nominee, or someone who ran in 2016, and their names are being thrown out there for 2020 primary challenges for the president. And we're going to see how they would make an impact if they decided to run independent. So, again, previously I did a video of Bernie Sanders ran independent, which was a Republican landslide, Republican modern-day landslide. We're not going to see anything like 400 electoral votes or more in the future, but we're going to see how the Democrats could pretty much run up the map with an independent candidate from the Republican side. So, first of all, there are states that are probably never going to flip. So we're going to fill those in now, and these are for the Democratic Party. So, of course, the West Coast. In fact, if we did have, by the way, I'm using Cory Booker because I used him in the Bernie Sanders video, but it's just going to be generic Democrat. I'm just keeping that there, so everything is similar, but we're going to look at the map, and pretty much every state that went to Hillary Clinton in 2016 would be safe for the Democrats yet again, just based off vote splitting. Again, that is the answer to almost all the reasons why independent candidates are such spoilers for elections. It happened in 2000. It happened in 2016, actually, for Hillary Clinton, and then again, it happened in previous elections like 1992 or 1996. You could make an argument that Bill Clinton would have won either way, but not many people take that point. They definitely make a note of Ross Perot's effect on the election because he did have such a drastic effect. But personally, I do believe Bill Clinton would have won the 1992 election, but not as much. I believe he would have been a much closer election. But in 1996, again, it would have gotten closer, but I still think he would have narrowly edged that one out. But that's not what this video is about. We're going to talk about, again, the president and why Republicans shouldn't run against him, or why any top Republican figures shouldn't run against him. It could be another Republican, but if they're not known nationwide, they're not going to make that much of an effect. But first of all, we're going to look at these states now. So states that probably aren't going to flip from the president are states like Wyoming, Idaho, South Dakota, Nebraska, except for that second district we'll talk about in just a moment. Kansas. Oh, wow. Okay, that's... don't know why I did that. But Oklahoma probably won't flip. Texas we'll come back to. Alaska we'll come back to. Down in the South, we're going to talk about it. Not talk about these states in the South, but some of these states are going to get a little bit closer. And then those swing states from 2016 that were decided by very small margins are probably going to go to the Democrats, effectively making a Democrat, generic Democrat, in this case Cory Booker, the next president of the United States. But we're not finished, and we still have 89 electoral votes in the Trump column and 278 for Cory Booker. So when we're coming to a number of these states, obviously if John Kasich was running independent, Ohio would easily go to the Democrats. And the reasoning behind that is if the Democrats hold on at 43%, if John Kasich just takes away 10% away from the president, the president loses that state. And John Kasich will likely take away more than 10% in the state of Ohio. I'm not talking about nationwide, but when it comes to this particular state, we would likely see it go to the Democrat. And then if we go to states like North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Arizona, even Texas or Iowa, the margin that Hillary Clinton got in 2016 would be enough to put the Democrat in 2020 over the top if the vote splitting was as crazy as we see it. And if we go over to Utah, let's say someone like Mitt Romney comes, we could see Utah actually going to either Mitt Romney or the Democrat. But we're not going to talk about that. That one will likely stay in the Trump column, but it'll also be very close. So when it comes to states like Montana and North Dakota, again, we'll see Trump carry those states, but we're not going to see such a drastic margin we would see for him. And in fact, in my Bernie Sanders video, I believe I did do a margins type map. So we're going to start doing that actually right now. We'll fix some of the states that were a little too safe. So the Rust Belt, Ohio, Virginia, no, everything else is safe. Probably New Hampshire would just be talked about just a little, but that gives the Democrats, again, 296 electoral votes and Trump 101 electoral votes. Being completely honest, Trump will probably hold on to Indiana and Missouri very, very narrowly. We're not going to see safe state for Trump if someone like John Kasich or Mitt Romney runs nationwide because of the vote splitting. Again, that Ted Cruz movement, that Tea Party movement that still has backlash towards the president and doesn't have an alternative candidate will. And they will choose that candidate over the president. They still believe that these states are solidly red, so they're probably not going to think their vote counts much. Just like we saw in Alabama, the write-in vote made an impact on the general election in the Senate special election. If that write-in vote had gone to someone like had gone to Roy Moore, then we probably wouldn't have seen Doug Jones' victory. Obviously, we wouldn't because the margins were just the way they were. And then we look at the map right now, and we're not seeing it be beneficial to the president for a third-party candidate. It probably wouldn't be. If anything, it would be safe for the Democrats. And then we go over to Ohio. That one would narrowly go to the Democrats in this scenario. Georgia would as well, along with Florida and the state of North Carolina and Maine's 2nd District, Nebraska's 2nd District, and Arizona. I haven't filled in Alaska yet. That one would probably be likely for Trump. And Texas would probably be leaning, considering the margin back in 2016. So the reason why I just ran through the rest of the map is because they all have the same justification. The vote splitting is going to be immense. The minority population, number one, is already going to come out and vote in 2020, and it's not going to be beneficial for the president. This scenario would give the Democrats an utmost advantage. That would be crazy. I mean, I'm being generous to the president right now. Texas could easily go to the Democrats in this scenario. If John Kasich takes away 10%, again, the Democrats win in Texas, okay? And it's just not enough to see how Trump could win an election where he has a Republican opponent in the general. Maybe in the primary it is possible, but we're not. If it happens in the general, he's completely screwed. And I'm being extremely generous in this map. Utah actually probably is likely for the GOP, not safe. But yeah, so final electoral map, 163 electoral votes for Trump and 375 for whatever Democrat, in this case Cory Booker. But again, independent candidates are going to screw either the Democrats or the Republicans, depending on who it is. So thank you guys for watching this video. Comment down suggestions below, and I'll see you all tomorrow.